My biggest flex right now is that I feel like I've become an incredibly disciplined person. And I don't know, I feel like I wasn't always. Actually, I know I wasn't always. So here we are. And I was thinking about this. I was thinking about like what has genuinely changed my life recently because I've just been really loving life. I feel like life is really sweet right now, and it's not necessarily because everything's going smoothly. Like you guys know, we're in the middle of the most chaotic time ever. When you're listening to this podcast, like we just got back from the United Kingdom. We're trying to figure out where the heck we're going to live. Like there's a lot going on right now. So it's not my environment that is making life so easy and great. It's actually the consistency that I'm showing up in, and it's actually the discipline that I'm showing up with. So I wanted to kind of talk about that because as I really recover, like reflected and like discovered this, I realized it's all about discipline. And how did we get here? How did we actually become disciplined? Because I don't know about you, but I feel like discipline often to me, when I think of discipline, I think of like a drill sergeant or like the army. I don't know. I don't know if that's normal, but I think about that and I'm like, listen, I could never wake up and like run 5 miles while being yelled at by a drill sergeant. I am not for the military. I think about the fact that sometimes, like, there's some places that women have to be like, have to do military just like the men do. Or like when sometimes people talk about the fact that if there's ever a draft again, like, will women be drafted? Biggest fear. Biggest fear. All feminism leaves my body. I'm like, absolutely not. I don't want anything to do with that. Not because I think I'd be bad at like being in the military. I think I couldn't handle running. That's the whole reason. The whole reason. I feel like I would just simply pass away and die. And people all the time around me are like, you need to become a runner. And why is running like the ultimate sign of being disciplined? I don't know. Maybe it's because I can't do it. But I feel like I'm disciplined in everywhere else, okay? And I'm still like very active. I just hate running. I hate it. And if you run, good for you. Like I genuinely applaud you because I will never ever be me. Okay, that was a tangent and I'm very sorry. We're going back to this. Discipline is the cornerstone of success and growth. And today we are talking about how to grow in that, okay? So, discipline, what is it? Obviously, very important. Consistent actions aligned with your goals, even when you don't feel like it, okay? So, one more time, discipline is consistent actions aligned with goals even when you don't feel like it. So, the difference between motivation or inspiration and discipline is that motivation or a moment of inspiration, whatever that is fleeting. Like, you will feel motivated on January 1st. Like, it's New Year's Day. Heck freaking yeah, I'm motivated. It's Monday and I'm starting a new diet. Oh yeah, I'm motivated. I have a vacation coming up and I want to look my absolute best and feel my absolute best. Yeah, you best believe I'm motivated. Discipline, though, is reliable. It's not fleeting because when Thursday comes and you're like, you know what? Never mind. Forget this. I don't care anymore. That is where the motivation that was fleeting. But discipline is being like, you know what? I'm still going to go hit my workout. You know what? I'm still going to nourish my body with what I know is actually healthy versus what is the easiest. I'm still going to get my water intake. I'm still going to do my Bible study, even though I feel like I have no time. Okay. All of that, that is discipline. And discipline is not being harsh. Like I said, for some reason, when I think about the word discipline, I do tend to think about like someone in the army. And that's great. But with that, there's also like a harshness. I am not saying discipline is like soft, but I don't think it needs to be like super intense, harsh. Like I wake up and I like just absolutely throw myself into all of the things that I do. Like that's a lot. There's this one guy, oh gosh, I can't think of his name. Can't think of his name. He's like a military, he was like a Navy SEAL maybe, and he's super intense and like he has this famous line and he's like, who's gonna carry the boats and the logs? And I listened to a podcast with him once, with the Andrew Huberman, and he talked about how you should not like enjoy life. Like people who want to enjoy life and wake up and like be happy every day are like psychos, and he wakes up knowing that his day is gonna suck. And I'm like, okay, actually, like, no. Way too harsh for me. Like I appreciate the sentiment, and the guy's crazy. He runs like 100 miles a day, and honestly, I'm not really joking when I say that. He runs like a stupid amount. Because that's like what he's known for. I think his name's like Dave. Can't remember. Anyways, you probably know who I'm talking about. It also doesn't mean that you're perfect though. Like discipline, I think can often be kind of misinterpreted for perfect in a way of like you always hit what you need to hit and you never miss. That's just like unrealistic. That's not life. And if you don't have a job and are fully like a, I don't know, maybe like a trust fund baby where you don't have to show up for other things or other people don't have to rely on you, maybe there's a level of that. But for pretty much all of us, things happen because we're surrounded by people who have to rely on us for different things. So that means discipline does not equal perfection. So why discipline matters then is because discipline will actually help us achieve our long term goals through our short term actions. And this can happen in every single area of our lives. Like health is your probably our most like, when we think of discipline, we usually think of like working out or sticking to a specific diet or whatever it is, but it can also help with career, relationships. Oftentimes we forget that there is discipline in relationships and in personal growth, all areas of life. Discipline is important, especially in spiritual growth, just literally everything. And there is more freedom that comes from discipline because there's less decision fatigue, there's less stress, and you do have more control the more disciplined you are, which is really, really helpful because when you control your time, when you control your actions because you're disciplined and you're not giving into what your body wants or what your mind wants, like you're not going to sit on the couch eating potato chips, doom scrolling, listening to whatever part of your mind is telling you that that's what you should be doing, but rather you take control and you go on a walk and listen to a podcast, that's going to help a lot. Okay. You have more control. So, my 5 practical steps for you, because you guys know I'm a sucker for a good practical step, is one, to actually build discipline, you have to start small and then build up. So, these are achievable goals because you have to avoid overwhelm. If you want to become a disciplined person, your number one stay away from, don't touch it, is overwhelm. You need to stay away from overwhelming yourself. So maybe start with like literally your first step is that you're going to make your bed every single day. That is your first actionable step to becoming disciplined. And it's not because making your bed is so magical or because it's going to set you up for success. And next thing you know, you're going to be a millionaire because you made your bed every day. But what it does do is it creates in your mind the pattern of showing up and being disciplined in a small way every single day. You're creating space for yourself to learn the pattern of being disciplined. And that leads into number 2. Okay, so you're starting small to build up. You have to create a daily routine of it. You have to be consistent because consistency builds habits. And there's a ton of discourse on how long you have to do something in order to create a habit. Like literally so many options. Some people say it takes 21 days. Some people say it takes 30. Some people say it takes 60, 90, 75, whatever it is. I don't know that there's a magic number. I really don't. I think that there are habits that you can pick up quickly. And in the same way, there are habits that you can do for 70 days and you miss one day and then it's gone because it's not really about this magic number as much as it is of just creating a consistent lifestyle. So creating that routine that you can lean into and then adding to the routine. So if your morning routine starts out that you're just going to wake up and make your bed, that is the only checkbox you have for yourself until you're ready to add something to build onto that. That is really, really good. And that's how you become disciplined. So another way is if you also feel like you've tried all this before, you've tried to build up small, you've tried to create consistency, you've tried to do everything daily, and you're still struggling, accountability is going to be your number one best friend in this, okay? You need to tell someone what your goals are. You need to tell someone where you want to be and how you're going to get there so you can actually show up and have a reason to do it. You need to track your progress. There's certain ways you can do this. You can do this through like a physical habit tracker in the planner that I have for the Hustle Sanely planner. There's like an actual tracker in there for I think like 6 habits a week that you can track with, or you can get like an actual habit tracker on your phone, whatever it is. I used to have one on my phone every single day. I'd mark off what I did and then I'd color in each day on like how well I did. So then I could like scroll back over like the year and look at all the different colors and see how consistent I was and how like disciplined I showed up for myself and what that looked like. But that doesn't always work. And if you feel like you don't want to put the weight, here's why I struggle with accountability. feel like sometimes it feels like putting a lot of weight on another person. Like sometimes it's like, oh, I like am asking you to show up with me in this way, and that can be really challenging. So what I encourage you to do is maybe like you're just like, hey, I'm going to send a screenshot of my week. So, okay, for example, I did this with my family. Is our family has a group chat, me, Drew, Grace, my sister-in-law, and then my mom and dad and my husband. And we have a little group chat. And what I did was I was like, hey guys, like I think it's really important we take health seriously in 2025. I would really appreciate it if every single week we send a check-in on how many days we worked out. Or I've been in group chats where what we've done is every single workout that we did, we had to send a picture. Or like some sort of like, hey, I did this. I forgot to take a picture, but here's my workout. This helps a lot. Okay. So when you get the whole group encouraged to do this, because one, your phone's dinging and reminding you like, hey, you need to do this today to show up for these people. We also had like punishments/rewards in there for like people who stuck with their goals. They got rewards. People who didn't like could like get punishments. Like literally, like we were like the joke was like if you backed out of the challenge, like you had to sing karaoke or something. I can't remember what we did, but anyways. And then we sent screenshots of like our prize. So we did a 3-month challenge. We all picked out a prize with your own budget. Okay. Like however much you could do. So like Matt and I both picked out a prize for like $70. And then my parents, I think we all ended up doing around 70, 50-ish, somewhere in there. Something we'd kind of been wanting, but didn't really have a reason to get. So we put that in the group chat and then we made our goal. And so like me, it was work out 5 times a week. I think pretty much everyone had the same goal, like working out 5 times a week. And then when we started, it was every workout we did, we would send a picture. But then by the end of it, it was just like a weekly recap because it kind of got a little old after 3 months. But that accountability helped so much. And it got everyone in the group chat excited. And I've done this with literal Bible studies too. Like our Bible study group would follow this same kind of pattern of like, hey, okay, we're going to have like our Bible study group chat. But then anyone who wanted to be in like, we called it fitness and faith. That was a separate group chat where we focused in on, okay, you know what? We're going to be like really consistent in taking care of our bodies. And like, there will still be times where like today, this happened like a year and a half ago, like we'll work out and one of us will like send a picture in the group chat and be like, hey, still working on this. So it's just like a good way to build community, and accountability doesn't have to be you asking someone completely to just like sponsor you in this project, but inviting that person to do it with you. That's the way that you can really get good accountability. Okay. So just to recap, starting small, building up, creating a daily routine for consistency, using accountability. And then number 4 is managing your environment. This can feel really hard, especially for some of us that are living with our parents or roommates or something like that. But there are ways that we can remove distractions and set ourselves up for success. That is really important, especially when it comes to the phone. Oh my goodness. You guys know I hate when everyone rips on social media. But what I do think needs work is everybody's screen addiction. Listen, I'm preaching to the freaking choir right now because my screen time is up way too high, especially because I'm so overwhelmed right now with like all the life things. I find that I just like kind of been finding a lot of comfort in my screen time, which isn't great. So I'm working on different ways that I can focus in on just like building discipline and not just adding things, but removing things too. So like, what does it look like for me to be disciplined in removing more scroll time and doom scrolling? So for me, what I've done is I knew that completely removing it was just going to be impossible. Like that was too big of a shift. So I have to be walking in order to like be on my phone. So like whether that's with my walking pad or on a treadmill, not really outside. I don't really do this outside, but, or just like doing laps in my home because I'm like 1,000 steps away from hitting my step count for the day. That is my scroll time. So like I'll just do, this is so depressing. I will literally just do laps while like my show is playing or whatever, like around my couch and around my home and around wherever we're staying, or go to the hotel treadmill, whatever it is. And that's my scroll time. I have to be moving. And what that has done is it's created a place for me to get like a reward for doing something good, but also creating a limitation on something that I know isn't great for me. So it's kind of balancing out really, really well. And then my last step is obviously, okay, you got to, if you want to grow in discipline, have grace. You are not going to hit everything every single day. Like that is just me speaking the truth to you. This is me telling you lovingly, you will fail. You will. But that's okay. And the reason why it's okay is because you're going to show back up the next day. And so, one of my favorite things that I've heard a long, long time ago, and I've just like always had this in the back of my mind, is try not to fail 2 days in a row. Now, if you're sick, that's completely different. If something is going on, like a family emergency, obviously, like that's going to be different. But if it's just regular routine and one day you just don't hit all the marks, that's okay. Have grace, but then make sure that you're set up so that way tomorrow you do. You are showing up the next day in the way that you need to. Don't fail 2 days in a row. And I think that's just really good. Like, that's helpful, that's manageable. And then also reassess your goals. Like, if you're failing a lot, you might have the wrong goals. You might have to kind of relook at what you were thinking you were doing and go, I actually need to adjust. And that's okay. Adjustments are good. That's good to do. Okay. There's a lot of compassion with that. So, discipline challenges come in all forms. I mean, you can deal with procrastination, distraction, trying to stay disciplined when motivation is low, avoiding burnout by balancing discipline with rest, all of that. Those are all things that you're going to have to deal with in this. And that's just the facts. But if you stick to the 5 main tips of starting small and building up with new habits, creating a daily routine to actually create a platform that's going to have you do the habits, using accountability with people around you for habits that are maybe a little harder for you to get into, managing your environment to the best of your ability, and then having grace with yourself, all of these things are going to fall into place. Like, that is how you're going to succeed at becoming a disciplined person. So I highly, highly suggest figure out where you need to grow in and then start this process slowly but surely, because that is where it's going to be most effective for you. That's where you're going to see the most growth, and it's just going to be really, really great. So trust me on this. This is how I have leaned into becoming disciplined in all aspects of my life, and this process has genuinely changed my life, and I highly, highly recommend it. So let me know what you think, and also DM me with whatever habit you're going to start working on, because I want to hear how you're becoming disciplined.